It's mid-October 2018, and I'm back in our office in St. Paul, Minnesota, from our global dialogue in St. Petersburg, Russia, which was really a wonderful and remarkable experience, particularly when you consider all the issues which are taking place these days in our time around the relationships between Russia and its government and the rest of the world, issues around Crimea, issues in Ukraine, issues with selling gas to Germany, issues in Syria, issues with assassinations of people in London, attempted assassinations, and in the United States, accusations of collusion between President Trump and his campaign and the Russians. But in any case, we were with academics and intellectuals and business people at the Graduate School of Management at St. Petersburg University. As some of you may know, St. Petersburg University was founded by Peter the Great in, I think, 1726, with a mission. And the mission was to bring a certain kind of intellectual thought, studious consideration of everything from science to governance to ethics and morality to Russia, mostly from Western Europe, and to integrate that somehow with the Russian folk traditions and the Russian Orthodox Church. In the early 90s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, a number of younger people, including our colleague Professor Yuri Blagov, started a business school. And they had two thoughts in their mind, as I understand it. One is to help Russians learn how to do business in a non-bureaucratic, non-government planned way. And secondly, to associate business and markets and capitalism with corporate social responsibility. So we were there and we were talking about the tensions in our time around ethics. The ethics of humanism, universal standards of good conduct, and also the ethics, good and bad, of what people are calling tribalism. Responding to a sense in many quarters, as expressed by Antonio Guterres, the current Secretary General of the UN, that there's a trust deficit in the world. We seem to worry about fragmentation. There's conflicts between religions, between different ethnic groups. We have migrant groups seeking to escape from bad conditions, not always welcome in other societies. So we talked about that. We also talked about the sustainability of the global financial system. There's huge amounts of debt. The global debt is now 3 times global GDP, which is, I think, one of the highest rates ever. 10 years ago, in the crisis of 2008, global debt was the same as global GDP. It was more manageable. And we came up with 2 statements, which I'd like to talk to you about in separate videos. One is, how do we value things in capitalism? And the second is, what are the ethical standards we ought to apply when we and our group, our tribe, meet people from a different tribe, a different group, different religion, different background. So it was a very, very productive discussion which produced, I think, 2 important, thoughtful statements which we will be distributing to leaders around the world.